How are we doing today? We are in Crowley, Texas. Nice day today. We're going to get started doing an audit on their city hall. I'm outside across the street right now. I'm going over to the corner to cross. Don't give any reason for them to want to mess with me or force me to ID. So let's get it all started. Well, from what I can see right now, it actually looks pretty nice. They got this playground over there. I'm across the street from it. We're crossing crossing over here. I'm going to use the crosswalks. If I do everything legit, don't give them any reason to try to force me to ID. Is the point here. Let's hit the crosswalk button. All right, they stopped. Crossing. This is actually looks pretty nice. Got some shaded area over here. Bunch of grass area not being utilized, obviously. But if you live nearby, and like in these houses back here, this wouldn't be a bad place for a kid to come and kick a ball around or throw a ball around. It'd be nice. Got a little playground right here. Of course, I still miss the playgrounds when I was a kid. They made you tough. Slide down a steel slide, burning your legs all the way down. And then plop it into the rocks underneath, then run around and do it again. Seesaws, eject the lightest person put the lightest person on one end, everybody else on the other, and eject them right on out of there. And it looks like they got Connect 4 over here, which is really cool too. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna come out here because I saw the sign. And saw the sign over here. So we're gonna get the picture of the City Hall sign. It's actually a nice looking area out here for the City Hall. Like their sign also, City Hall Crowley Crossing. I personally don't like walking in grass, so I'm gonna go ahead and go around it. Oh, small concrete path right here I can cut through. I'm gonna walk around the building before I go inside today. And look at those. Those are some big cameras. I haven't seen cameras that big in a while. And like on Long Island always says, they film you, but they always have a problem when you film them. I give my props to the other auditors that I've watched over the years. Has helped me understand laws, and has given me the education I need to be able to do this myself. And here's a side entrance, and it looks like we got an employee entrance and a keypad. Let's go around the back over here. Oh, it looks like we have Crowley Fire Department. In the parking lot. I wonder if the fire department is connected to the city hall. I'm curious because we got Crowley Fire Department right there. They look like they're loading up to get out of here. Then we have a vehicle down there also that looks like it's a fire department truck. Oh, here's another fire department. Oh, an electric, well, that doesn't mean it's an electric vehicle. They may have stuff inside that needs to stay refrigerated or something. I'm not quite sure. Looks like a bunch of gear in the back. It's a Tahoe. So it could be plugged in because it's an electric vehicle. It also could be plugged in because they got to keep something refrigerated or just something cool, something that needs to stay powered, possibly. Not quite sure. I personally wouldn't like the idea of an electric vehicle as an emergency vehicle. It's a lot easier to keep something fueled than it is to keep it charged, in my opinion. Of course, I've never owned an electric vehicle, so I could be wrong. And then there's an emergency exit here, and there's a door up there with the keypad, stairwell coming down, and another, let's see. It's secured from going up, I believe. Yeah, locked door, but if you're coming from the inside out, obviously you hit that and you're in. Here's another door over here. Probably maintenance to the AC. Battalion 54, service before self. Well, I wish the cops did that. Service before self. They care more about them personally than about officer safety than they do about civilian safety, as you know. I was in the military. There was never once that anybody I've ever served with said, oh, I need to make it home. It's more important to me make it home than it is to take care of our country. Never heard that before. But these cops, they, you know, and this is the dog park, by the way, which is really nice. That's fake grass, so there's nothing to absorb, I would assume. I don't really know how that works either. So let's see. We've got a couple of fire department vehicles, so I'm curious if they're part of the city hall. And I decided to do the outside first today. Curious if the door is going to be open when I get there. I don't have any reason to believe it won't be. And we're back to the front. There's the park. Here's the area that I've already walked through. So now we're going to the entrance. Let's see, it looks like we have some billboards right here on the outside. Let's see what they... The agenda, November 6th agendas, November 10th, zoning, it looks like. Notice the parking recreation. Let's see what's on the billboards on the other side. City Hall and fire. So the fire department is here, it looks like, fire administration. Monday through Thursday, 7 to 30 to Friday. They get out at 11:30. That's nice hours. Practically you get off by lunch. Pretty much get a 3-day weekend, 2.5-day weekend. Pretty nice. But let's see. Water Utilities Department. Permits and inspections. How are we doing today, ma'am? Municipal courts. So if you got to pay money to any of these, I'm assuming this is where you pay. Authorized personnel. Won't be going that way, obviously. And they have a keypad. Another authorized personnel with the keypad right there. Place doesn't look too big. Probably won't be here too long. This is a conference room. Obviously no one's here. Let's see, nice conference room it looks like. Here we got a defibrillator. Let's see if we can see the let's see. Looks like it's up to date. October 25. Maintenance. It was either just done or it just expired. Not sure if that's the inspection date or the expiration date, so I'll bring that up to someone up front. Oh, check this out. This is really nice. Council chambers. This is a nice council chamber. I'm curious on what the requirements are to become council members and stuff. Might have to look into that on another video. Judge/prosecutor office. Warning: this building contains a court or court offices pursuant by the penal code. Person may not enter the premises with a firearm, a legal knife, club, or other prohibited weapons. It is not defense to prosecute that a person possessing a handgun was licensed to carry a handgun under chapter. And there's government code, chapter 411, government code. An offensive under this section is a 3rd-degree felony. Oh, we ain't got no weapons. It's to state seal. See what we got here. Assuming these are prior board members. I got a glare and I don't see small stuff very well. So these are the people here. And this has the same expiration date or inspection date. Office here. Restrooms. And authorized personnel door again. Don't have much room to see stuff in here. It's not that big. They don't seem to be worried about me filming in here, which is a good thing. And there's their cameras right there. See what we can see from here. Looks like President's Award for Best New Construction. 2024 People's Choice New Construction. Look at these. How are we doing today?
Good, thank you. How about you?
All right. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I looked at your fire extinguishers. They were either inspected last month or they expired last month. I'm not quite sure, but they do say October 2025 on it. Just want to point that out. I'm assuming it's an inspection date and not an expiration date, but I'm not 100% sure.
They were just inspected.
Yep, that's kind of what I thought, but I saw them and I just wanted to double check. Have a great day, sir. So, he stated that they're just inspected last month, which is what I thought. And they're usually good for, I think it's a year after that expiration date. They didn't really bother me. Didn't worry about them as individuals because they didn't bother me, and they answered the questions that I had, which wasn't much because there wasn't much to ask. This is going to be a nice video to post. No issues. Just taking care of what they need to. Now, there's a big game out here that I didn't hear much until I came to Texas. And that's cornhole. And apparently I found out there is actually a big tournaments, and people do this stuff, and I've seen them on TV actually, and they do really, really good. I don't know, I'm not that good with my coordination at all to do that good, but there's a very short video. Everything happened. Why? I just noticed the flags are at half mast today. I'm curious why. I'm going to go back in and ask, why are they at half mast? It may still be for Veterans Day, but that was on Tuesday. They might be doing it for the week. Look at that beautiful flag right there. Should have paid attention to that on my way in. American flag right there. Texas flag. The only flag that is allowed to be able to be flown even at the same height with the American flag. It's because Texas has been under Six Flags throughout its inception, and it was its own country there for a few years. Or sorry, its own, yeah, actually, yeah, Texas was its own thing until the U.S. got it. It was its own country, and that is why it's allowed to be flown the same height as the U.S., which every other state has to be below the U.S. flag. So for those of you that wasn't aware of that, one of these days maybe we go to the Capitol and be able to see where they set up all Six Flags at the Capitol. One more. Oh, sorry. I'm curious. Why are the flags at half mast?
For Dick Cheney.
For Dick Cheney?
Yeah.
What happened?
He died.
I hadn't heard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that too. All right. When did he go?
Huh?
When did he pass?
Last week, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that. All right. Thank you. Whoa, Dick Cheney passed away. I was unaware of that. I don't really watch the streamlined news too much. Too many lies. They're always on one side. I'm not going to try to turn this into a political channel. I'm going to try to stay away from that kind of political stuff. There's too much volatile of people who say Democrat, people that say Republican. You know, I'm gonna stay out of all those kind of protests. But I believe there's good sides in both, good and bad things on both sides. So we're just gonna keep it at that. But right now, I'm finishing up what I'm doing, and it was pretty quiet. Answered my questions, and I'm gonna have to check out. I didn't realize Dick Cheney had passed away. In fact, when him and Bush, like I didn't do a whole lot of voting growing up. I never felt that my vote really meant anything, especially since everything goes by the electoral college, and the popular vote doesn't matter in general. But when George Bush and Dick Cheney went, I was young, and I voted for them because I thought Dick and Bush were meant to be together. 100%. That's why I voted. I didn't vote after that until the last election. So it was quite interesting. But I'm gonna thank you guys for being here, for taking a walk with me, and we will I'll see you next time. And let's just hope these people that we don't run into people that are very ignorant, and if we do, we can get them educated. Thanks for showing up. Right now I'm American made, and I'm looking to start the new channel to make it a little easier for people to find. I'm going to call it American Made Audits. Thank you, and we will see you later. Bye.